Hi, today is March 17th, and yes, March 17th. Happy Victoria Day weekend to everybody out there who's Canadian. If you're not Canadian, then it's our first official summer long weekend of the year here in Canada. We celebrate it when Victoria was the Queen of England during her reign during the Victorian times. I could get into the history of Victoria Day and how were a Commonwealth until 1976 when Pierre Trudeau we came away from the crown with Queen Elizabeth when Queen Elizabeth II was queen on the throne there before she left this earth. I can continue, but I won't. Anyways, today I was down in the financial district of Toronto, 77 King Street West, 66 Wellington Street, and there were some other addresses that I don't know. It's right deep into the financial district, so when you come up from the TTC of the TTC subway system, those who know it well. Those who don't, high rises all around you. It's actually very, very overwhelming. Me being a history buff the way I am, I looked up and I thought, I wonder what it looked like back when it was York, right? That's just something I like to think about. Another thing, it was a competition that I guess they hold every year. Apparently, they also hold this in the United States. There were different corporations and different sponsors that took cans of food that were donated, and they made structures, these amazing structures. If you get on my Facebook, you can see pictures of them. They were prizes. There was 5 buildings filled with different structures of different cans of food. So I went down there as a volunteer, obviously, because I am a Daily Bread Food Bank volunteer. As of today, I have 109 hours in. Second T-shirt, which is huge, by the way. So I went down there today. There were a number of other volunteers who are regular volunteers, staff members from the warehouse, staff members from People and Culture, and staff members from the operations and production team. So just various people who are staff, and then we had other volunteers who had signed up who were part of the corporations that had, in actuality, put these structures together, and also people who were the sponsors. So there were a number of people down there, which was wonderful. I think I've discussed, and I've had to notify the productions team, my supervisors, who are staff, and I also have had to notify volunteer services and head of they're called People and Culture Department, about that. John Regato, Melanie Regato, Melinda Jeffries, and I will be giving them Norman and Lillian Brown's picture as well as Sandra Long's picture on Tuesday when I go in to volunteer. Jonas Regato has been seen associating himself with a staff member in the warehouse. Those who are on staff know who he is. The CEO knows who he is. He's in a lot of trouble, actually. And then Melanie Regato had been driven down there by Melinda Jeffries to go down there and to run around naked in the around the parking lot area. And then she stated she was a member of Catch Fire Toronto. Sandra Long has done a bomb threat because I was using and accessing the food bank, which I do. I do, admittedly, I do. Unless I get my ODSP check, my Trillium benefit was in, and I finally received my carbon payment, which was in. So I didn't need to access it. I was able to go to the St. Lawrence Market yesterday, and I was also able to go to the meat store and No Frills as well. So, Sandra Long had told many individuals that I was going downtown today to package donations of crystal methadone in cans. They will be notified the Daily Bread Food Bank will be notified. I will notify, in notifying the people I notify at Volunteers Department and the Production Department and in Peoples and Culture, they also notify the CEO. I don't understand. Now, I'm going to get a little bit upset, okay? Why? Melanie and Jonathan have admittedly stated that for 4 years that they have stated that they wanted to ruin my life because I would not be a companion to Jonathan Regato, who is a mental patient and spent 3 months at a mental wellness facility in Brazil, who the only reason why he came back was because John Arnott wanted him back because Melanie Regato was pregnant with Lara and she needed a husband. They brought him back from Brazil in order to do that, and then in doing that, they put him on staff along with Melanie as youth pastors, whatever that is. So here it is. We have those two trying to ruin my life. Melinda Jeffrey, who is Melinda Jeffries, along with Kevin Jeffrey, her brother, Jeff Yancey, member of the organization, all the way up there, who wanted me to be lynched, leave this earth, and whatever, and they received money, as well as Norman Brown, who was working for Ed Verhaven, who got money from Ed Verhaven, and so did Sandra Long. Sandra Long has access because Stephen Long was the president of the finance department, has access through the years of various accounts, and stolen $87 million. Anyways, so I don't care right now about what she's done at Catch Fire Toronto. I don't care about that right now. What I care about is something where this is a community. This is where my community is the Daily Bread Food Bank. We're a family there. That's what everybody has said. That's what everybody said to me. That's what goes around. The men look out for the women. Everybody looks out for everybody else. Who are you to come into a community where the mayor of this city, the premier of this province, has come in there during Easter? They've stated that there was a food crisis. They were there helping to sort food. It was obviously a political thing, but you know what it is. Olivia Chow is an amazing mayor. Doug Ford, not so much. I don't like him as a premier. Never have. Never will again. Never will. So, why? You're doing it in order to give me defame my character. You're doing it. Do you want to know how many hundreds of pounds of food that we have? 5.9 million pounds of food a year pass through that place. They serve over 700,000 families a year in that place. There was 5 trucks. You can't see this on my phone. I don't know if you can. There was in my building. There were 5 buildings. In my building, where we had about 6 structures. We had 6 structures. I know at least 8 skids went out. I did. My team that I had did 5 skids alone, and on each skid was 4 boxes. So there was 4 boxes on each skid, so 5. 5 times 4, anybody? 40? I don't know. Is that 40 boxes? I have no idea what that is because it's 20 boxes. So that was my team alone. There was another there were 2 other teams in my half of the building that I was in at 66 Wellington. Then there was on the other side, there were about 4 or 5 more teams. And then at 77 King Street West, there were 2 teams. And then there were other teams in 2 other buildings, in Building 3, Building 4, Building 5. Skids and skids and skids. There were 3 trucks parked in front of 77 King Street West, loading up boxes and loading up skids of boxes. Stephen Long was down there with Rob McIntosh. I believe his name is Rob McIntosh, who does the Welcome Center. So Stephen Long was down there with him. Why are you purposely stating this, they're going to know, and Sandra Long is going to be charged. Forget about the huge felony of stealing $87 million from various accounts at a church. That's a grand felony. Forget about this. This is not defaming my character, because they know who I am now. They recognize me. I've showed pictures. I've told them the story of how Sandra and Ash contacted the Detroit Port Authority and had me pat searched and held in a holding cell. I told them the story about how Jonas Regato and Melanie Regato are bent on ruining my life, and had done so and are still doing so. Melanie today went down to the St. Lawrence market, and there is a staff member on who at the Daily Bread who was trying to get her a t-shirt. These t-shirts are locked away in someone's office. They're locked away. Only 2 people have access to get these t-shirts out for people once you pass 50 hours. So every 50 hours you get another shirt. Because I have 109 hours now, I got another shirt after my when I had 101 hours. So I got another t-shirt because I have a long sleeve shirt. So this person was trying to do this. Melanie Regato today went down to the St. Lawrence market because I like to go down there. She thought I was going down there today. I got as far as Winners to what was I doing? I was exchanging a dress. She ran around naked. I don't know if she had her hair up the way I do. I put this up now. This has peppers and everything on it because my wig was getting destroyed. She ran around naked, and she said, I am Duncan Smith's companion. I am a methadone dealer. I'm a methadone addict. I am a mental patient. I am Duncan Smith's companion. And she ran around naked. Now, that goes back to Duncan, obviously, because every time I speak here, the Toronto Regional Police will contact Duncan over or they'll contact the Durham Police over there, or they'll call him himself. So I want to state now why here we have people who are against Daily Bread. Here we have people who are trying to infiltrate Daily Bread in order to get me. I will be speaking to Daily Bread and showing them pictures of Lillian Brown, Norma Brown, Sandra Long. I've showed them pictures of Melinda Jeffries, Jonas Regato, and Melody Regato. I do know, I do know that there are people who have been volunteering for years who actually know Sandra Long. One of them is an intercessor, and one of them there are 2 of them who are in Lillian Brown's women's ministry. I will be also speaking to them about Duncan and Kate Daniels Smith. I will be talking to them about how both of them actually, because over in North Carolina, their federal government, Donald Trump, has actually eliminated any and all funding for a food bank program. So I offered to get them into a tour to see how they have set up their program over here at Daily Bread, so they could kind of set something up over in North Carolina at their church, possibly at their community center. I have no idea where I want, so they can set that up. I know that they could, when they do come into town, I don't know if they're going to have time this time, the next time they come in, but at some point I will be, because I'm volunteering up till August, right? What is your point? That is what I'm saying. What is your point? To infiltrate a community resource that puts 5 million pounds of food yearly to people in the GTA who need it. And I'm not just talking about refugees. I'm not just talking about, Norman Brown would say, why don't these people just get a job? He's using my money, people on welfare and all that. Do you want to know something? We have people who are refugees. We have people who are immigrants. We have people who I spoke to a woman today who works at Winners who said, I access the food bank on occasion. We have people who drive up in fairly new cars. I mean, they look new to me, with their families who need to access the food bank. Mayor Chow has said that this is a food crisis in our city. One of the richest cities and I've spoken about this before to many people, one of the richest cities in North America, and there's a food crisis. You pay for your housing or you pay for food. You pay for your bills and your housing, or you pay for food. You need food for your families, you need food for yourself. You pay for clothing so you can go to work, so you can pay for your housing, so you can pay for your car, so you can pay for your bills, or you pay for your food. I have been homeless. I have been on the streets for 10 days in Mississauga. Duncan did not know this until afterwards. Basically, afterwards, when I told him, he was in New Zealand for the month, basically, in November. I have applied for a job there because John has told his staff member that I was a methadone addict and a methadone dealer. This staff member went to where my resume was and said that I doctored it, that I was bringing methadone into the daily bread, that I wouldn't be fit for the position. I also put a resume and my application in for a volunteer position on the board of directors. Whether or not that's going to happen, I'm not quite certain. My resume is now circulating it in parts of the different departments of the food bank to see where I'm a fit. When you have someone like Jonas Ricardo who has been known to deal and bring it in, he brings it in there to a warehouse staff member, and blame me, okay? The police followed me today. It's like I said, could I go through one day without the police following me downtown or the police following me around the neighborhood? But you know what? It is what it is. We have Sandra Long calling the police. We have Norman Brown calling the police. Norman Brown, who was arrested in Mississauga for dealing crystal methadone and had crystal methadone in his pockets. Norman Brown, who is, and I will show this to, who is a known pedophile because of what he's done to children. He's had them in raping schedules. I'm going to say raping schedules because that's exactly what it is. And he has coded his, I'm going to say dick, because with crystal methadone, and he's put it inside little girls and little boys. And the Norman Brown, that's who he is. He's working for Ed, and he gets money not for doing that, but he gets money for getting information about me. Norman Brown should be in prison, okay? Like most of them, should be in prison. So that's Toronto, and he calls the police and says I'm at a mall. Norman Brown does. I'm at Union Station. The police follow me. Security checks me out. Security does whatever. What am I doing? Today I went to Union Station after I walked down from King Street down Bay to Front because I dropped off a granola bar to a homeless person, and I was hungry and I had money, so I thought, well, why not? I got my carbon payment and benefit, so I went and I had some Tim Hortons, coffee, farmer's wrap, apple fritter, waiting in that awful, horrendous line down in Union. If you've ever been down there, it's awful. Left, went to Winners. Police followed me in Union, alerted security. Police followed me down to Winners. Police followed me in Winners while I looked around, exchanged my dress, chatted. Police followed me back to Union. I saw a fellow volunteer, chatted it up with her for a little bit. I went on the GO train. She went to the subway. Like I said, investigate me. Investigate me all you want. They have yet to question me. So what the police are seeing is they're seeing people like Sandra Long, Melinda Jeffries, Melanie Regato, Jonas Regato, Norbert Brown, Lillian Brown, all contact Dallas Winston, Linda Cooley, all contact the police. Yes, Linda Cooley, the Linda Cooley. All contact the police. Linda Cooley's a hyena in Nashville. Um, he's a member of the satanic organization. All contact the police. And then they're investigating me and they're saying, wait a minute, red flags are going off. Wait a minute. And then Duncan's getting phone calls about me, and Duncan's getting phone calls about every day, about what, almost every day it seems like, he says, about what I've been doing, about who I am, about what I say about him, and he tells them, and never once have I been charged in 3 years, arrested, or anything. I've been charged with trespassing at the Sandman Hotel because Sandra, Kate Dana Smith, John Arnott did not want me at the Sandman Hotel at Ash. And Murray did not want me at the Sandman Hotel. That's all. Big deal. Whoopee. I can't go to the Sandman Hotel. There's many other hotels. Plus, for what it's worth, I made room 828 and room 723, John's apartment, where he repeatedly has children in raping schedules, as well as 723. That's Melanie's little domain where she actually accesses, where men access her. And I say access her because we all know what that means. And then we have another room, 729. Oh wait, yes, 729, where Jonas Regato has actually used it and accessed it to make child pornography. They should be charged. And they should be shut down, actually. They should be shut down. So, anyways, this is what it is, okay? So, this is what's coming right down through the pike, is the fact that there's police following me. There's police, contacting Duncan. There's police actually contacting Kate Daniel Smith. There's police. All these people in Toronto are making their little pleas, saying things about me. And Jonas and Melanie is running around naked in front of Daily Bread. And Melanie is running around naked at St. Lawrence Market. And Melanie is continuing to try to emulate me by putting her hair, by doing her hair. This, I don't know if she's done this yet. Like I said, wearing glasses, whatever. Trying to ruin my life. And then we have Sandra Long, who states that Daily Bread, in Daily Bread boxes, like they're Daily Bread boxes, Sandra, give me a break. These are boxes that the logo, this is a logo here. This is a charitable organization, and if you know, Ash doesn't know this, but if you know that in Canada you have to have a logo that's registered. You have to have a charitable organization business number because of every single thing that is Daily Bread. Boxes, bins, bags, anything that is Daily Bread that has this logo on it or the name, signs, anything. So Sandra Long is saying that this logo that is a registered business and a registered charitable organization that has a number from the government of Canada has from the federal government that is now dealing crystal methadone, collecting boxes and skids of crystal methadone and putting them in trucks that are, by the way, gifts from the Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints. I think Jesus Latter-day Saints. You know what I mean. Sorry if I got your name wrong and if that's your church. I apologize. But that are gifts, right? Okay? So that's what you're doing, Sandra. That's what you're doing. You're going beyond Catch Fire Toronto. You're going beyond that. You're taking a registered business, a registered charitable organization that the mayor, the premier, and other members of parliament and members of provincial parliament recognize. And you're taking that and stating that this company, this registered business, this registered charitable organization that has $5.9 million pounds of food, over 300 volunteers a week, and you're telling them that they're collecting cans of crystal methadone in a financial district. That's defamation of character. That's not character. That's against the law. And they will know that. They will know that on Tuesday. I go in at 8:30 in the morning. So, anyways, that's where I was today. And that's my passion, and it's on my Facebook. And if you ever feel like you have a need to donate, get on their website. You can match it through gifts of money. You will get a income tax slip. You can also drop off food at 191 New Toronto Street. You can go into the Welcome Center in Gate 1, or there's boxes outside Gate 3 where the warehouse is. So you can do that. So I would encourage that. Okay? Thank you, and have a wonderful day, and happy Victoria Day. Go out there. It's raining right now, but hopefully it will stop raining and you can enjoy. Those of you who are Canadian, who are living in Ontario in particular, will be able to enjoy the weather and enjoy picnics and whatever you like to do. Thanks.